first question I would like to ask you is that how is the refractory industry growing in India over the past decade? And what is your view on this?
So the refractory industry's growth is quite robust over the past decade, and it has been growing at about around 5% year-on-year basis. Size of refractory is around 12 to 13,000 crore in India, and still we are very bullish on the refractory markets since the Indian steel scenario looks to be quite interesting and on a very high growth path. And further, it is also expected to grow strongly. And refractory industry, just piggy rides on the steel industry.
But in spite of our growth, we are still importing almost 40% of refractories from other countries like China, Europe, from many other countries. Together, we are importing almost 40%, and 60% is domestic. Why is this, even today?
That is basically because there are certain refractory raw materials which are not available here in India, which necessarily has to be sourced mostly from China only. See, major refractory is imported from China because China is one of the major refractory raw material producer. So even good companies in India, like even Gita Refractories, we also procure some of our important raw material from China. We have to source from China. So this dependency from China has to be taken care of, which we also have planned in next 3 to 4 years going forward, how we will slowly curtail our dependency on China. Today, if I am dependent, say about 25% on China, going forward next 2 to 3 years, how I can bring it down to 10% or 12%. That is what we are trying to explore.
Is it cost effective to have the entire final product imported because the raw material price is very high? Is it cost effective for the buyer to get the finished refractory into the country rather than getting the raw material?
In some cases, yes and no. In certain cases, yes. In certain cases, no. So it depends on the, case-to-case basis. There are certain raw materials which goes about 80 to 90% in the refractory manufacturing. Those products, of course, definitely it is always cheaper to get from China. But where the import incidence is around 25 to 30%, those products are competitive to procure from Indian refractory makers.
Okay. What are the main raw materials which are very costly and we are not able to get here in India?
Basically, in India, we don't have a good quality of magnesite. So China has got one of the best quality of refractory magnesite, and they have also installed facility to further process it and calcine it or fuse it. So this is one of the key raw material which is not available in India, and one of the important ingredient for high quality refractory.
So mainly it is being used for making mag carbon bricks?
Mainly it is used in making magnesia carbon bricks.
So are you making mag carbon bricks, and what quantity are you making?
Yeah, we are manufacturing magnesia carbon bricks. Of course, we manufacture a whole range of refractories. The entire range of refractories in alumina, and the entire range of refractories in basic. So in this magnesia carbon comes under the basic category.
So now I go to the second question. Of course, we talked about the product range. What are the products you are now making, and which is the most fast-moving product of yours?
As I told you earlier, just now also, that we are making the entire range of refractories in alumina as well as basic. And the fastest range in our product group is, of course, magnesia carbon only. We are producing a lot of magnesia carbon bricks.
I was told that this particular that there is a fierce competition because all the major players are also making this.
Yes, of course. There is fierce competition in this sector because everybody is trying to make magnesia carbon and market it.
So now we get to the next question. Apart from the steel industry, what other industry are you serving? So like in the aluminum, copper, glass.
Yes,
cement.
apart from the steel, we are also serving to non-ferrous industries like lead and copper. In the copper, it is a secondary copper making plant. There are secondary copper making plants in private sector. So we are mainly catering to them. And then lead smelting plants. We are actually we are very close to the lead belt of India. This Bangalore, Chennai this corridor is a lead smelting base in India. Most of the lead smelting units are located here. Like Chloride Industries is located here, Exora is located here, Gravitas is located here, Pondy Oxides is located here. So like that, there are so many lead smelting units which make secondary lead here, and then that lead goes for making batteries. I mean, these lead acid batteries.
Okay. So that means I would take it like 80-20, 80 in the steel industry and 20 for the other non-ferrous sector.
Yes. That is the ratio presently.
Now, how about the pricing and the demand? Because the refractory industry has a lot of competition, so there is pricing, there is demand. So how do you see that?
See, right now, there is a huge demand for refractories because the imports from China have of late been, reduced because of the freight issues, container issues, which everybody is aware of. So therefore, there is a robust demand of refractories from the Indian refractory industry. And also more so because of this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan announced by our Honorable Prime Minister, where, all the sale plants and the government plants, they are now being advised not to procure the refractories from China and to procure refractories from the domestic manufacturers only. But at the same time, as you said, the demand is very, very good, very strong. But there is a huge disruption in the pricing, and that exactly is because of the runaway inflation or runaway cost increase in the freight prices, the container prices, and the raw material prices. Then the China's restriction, what they have imposed on their own industry, where they are curtailing the production of these producers because they wanted to host this Winter Olympic. They have their environmental issues, then they have their power issues. So with that, the raw material prices have gone haywire.
But do you think this is because of the COVID, because of the pandemic, which has actually impacted in such a way?
It is partially, I think it is because of the pandemic. Partially, it is because of the pandemic, because when we came out of the second wave, then the demand suddenly picked up, and but the industry could not, cater to that sudden pickup in demand. So one way we can say it is partially because of the pandemic, but it is more of a global scenario. It's a more of a global phenomenon.
Although they are saying that there's a big relief for the steel industry, there is a revival, the price has gone up, but the production in the steel industry this year has been lesser than last year. We will achieve about 99 million tons, not 110 plus which we were expecting.
They are also affected because of the coke, availability of coke. Because of this recent coal crisis, and because of the coke production was hampered, so therefore even their production has affected.
So, but the steel industry, but the steel secretary announced that by 2025 we will achieve 160 million, and by 30 we will achieve 300. How do you see that?
No, if they have announced it, so definitely they must be having some plans to achieve that. But I feel there is a robust growth coming up in the steel sector because of the demand suddenly picking up. So every steel maker has plans to expand their capacity. So by which I feel there will be a very strong growth in the steel sector, which augurs well for the refractory industry also. When there's a good demand, yes.
Just in case we achieve by 24 to 25 160 million, how much would you benefit from that?
Immensely. It would immensely benefit our company also. So
it would be a welcome decision by this.
Yes. It is a welcome decision. And definitely we are very pleased when the steel secretary announced that they are going to try to achieve 160 million by 2025.
Now I would like to ask you that how do you see the future of your company, and are you planning any expansion, any investment in the R&D product or whatever it is?
We already have done substantial modernization and expansion in the last 2 years, and now we are almost close to completion of that modernization expansion. By this January, that expansion and modernization is getting completed. So looking into the future demand, we had ourselves embarked upon expansion and modernization of our unit, not only in terms of the size, but also in terms of R&D and in terms of quality and other aspects.
Can you give me some figure that how much you have invested in this?
We invested almost roughly around 15 crores.
Okay. And are you planning to export also? Because
we have already started getting good response in the export market, and to start with, we have some good orders from United States of America, American market. So from we already have made some tie-up with the steel makers in United States, and one of the steel makers has now started regularly procuring material from us.
That's a good news because
Yeah.
cracking business in the US market is not very easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. We were trying this since last 3 years, and last month we could succeed, and we got a almost $125,000 worth of order.
So what we are going to export? Mac-carbon bricks or
Magnesia carbon.
Good. And of course, we asked about this. There is one of almost the same question that what Gita Refractories is going to achieve in the 300 MTS steel production by 2030. In fact, we have already.
I think we already discussed about this.
And we also talked about the competition in the market. And
yes.
But I would just like to add that since there is a lot of competition, how would you stay ahead, and how do you keep your market intact?
Yeah.
Because like RHI, TRL, Refractory, they're all investing a lot of money into the plant. They're trying to get into new product and trying to serve the steel industry as much possible.
Yes,
so
yes. We are also, as I just mentioned some time back, that we have done a big modernization and expansion, which is going to get completed by this January 2022. So further, what we are doing is we are doing a lot of backward integration, wherein we are trying to see, rather than getting raw material from outside, we have applied for government leases for certain raw material with government of Karnataka for certain raw materials, and which we will be, processing at our end, and substituting it with the other raw material which we were getting from outside, and that is how bring down the cost of production and stay competitive in the market.
And are you planning to set up plant in different locations in the country?
Right now, in immediate future, though, I am not having that plan. But going forward, yes, definitely we have in the back of our mind, if the demand is robust and if we are, if the present plant at which we are operating, which is Bangalore plant, if we exceed our capacity, definitely we would look at another location to fulfill the future demand and this thing for the refractory market.
How much can you expand in this existing plant? How much you can expand?
We have expanded. Now what we have done modernization expansion is 4x. Earlier we were our capacity was about 750 tons per month.
Okay.
So we have now going to produce around 2,500 tons per month.
Oh, that's a big jump.
Yes.
That's a big jump. Yeah. That means the market for you is expanding. So now you are.
Yes. We foresee a big, strong refractory market going forward. And that's how when the steel plants achieve when the country achieves 160 million tons, we should be ready for that. We should be ready to serve that.
Yes. So one more question is that, of course, about the investment we have asked, and as managing director, how do you see your company 3 years, 4 years down the line?
In terms of what? In terms of
in terms of turnover, in terms of,
turnover.
and
This effect of our expansion and modernization is going to be reality in from 22-23 onwards. So going forward, next 2 years, we have plans of achieving 100 crore turnover. Next 2 years, we have plans to, from 22-23 up to 2024, we have plans of achieving, touching 100 crore.
So how much it would be from the export and how much it would be domestic?
Export, we are targeting about 20% from exports, and the rest 80% from the domestic markets.
And domestic market, if I say that, what are your markets in the south or in the west or in the east or in the north?
No, now our market is pan-India now. We are now catering to consumers in Delhi, from Gujarat, then in Eastern Belt also, in West Bengal, Odisha area. South is of course our very strong market, but now the market, we have started spreading our market, and people have started accepting, our product.
So how seriously you're taking about the services? Because after sales service is a big
yes, refractory industry, you need to have after sales service, because it is not like just supply and then forget it. So we have strategically placed our marketing and technical persons in Eastern zone, in Western zone, and also in the Northern zone, to take care of the sectors where we are servicing them. So like in Eastern zone, my person is stationed in Bhubaneswar, and Western zone, our people are stationed in Mumbai. And Northern zone, of course, Delhi.
So you have to cater to the needs of your customers.
Yes.
So thank you very much
Thank you, sir,
for coming to our show and giving a valuable time. And of course, whatever we discussed today, this is going to be published in the magazine, and we will also put it in our YouTube channel, which is ISR Web TV.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sure you'll get a chance to look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.